let's try this first live video. Let's see how many we have already with us at the moment. Okay, I can see first for the moment still one. We will wait a little bit until we have a few people in the group. Second person joining. This is a new thing, just also for us new, so please excuse in case anything for the voice or for the video. As I said, it will be a trial today, so we'll try our best to provide you with a good voice, to provide you with good information. I can see more and more people are joining. I'm very happy to see that. Hello Farina, also in the group. Slowly but surely people are joining. This is good to see. We wanted to use, especially this time now, when people are not able to see our customers. We are in a similar situation from what we've been informed from all our partners around the world. Basically nobody is excluded, unfortunately. We're all in the same boat, so we all have to cover and be responsive to the existing situation. So we try to use this time, as I said, most efficiently. Try to provide you today with some updated information for this new platform Stairlift. The timing couldn't be better. The first units will leave our production early April, so just 1 week from now we'll have the first units of this platform Stairlift leaving our factory. So I can see we already have 8 people in our group. Anyhow, we will start now. For all the people who are joining us later, no problem, this live video will be posted afterwards in our group. So for everyone, there is the possibility also afterwards to follow and to see the video. So let me introduce you to Rainer. I'm sure most of you guys already know Rainer. Rainer was deeply involved in the development of this new product, of this new platform Stairlift, which we're having here today. So thanks a lot, Rainer. Can you give us a short introduction of this product and of the developments which you have included in the video, in this new product?
Hello from my side. Yes, we tried to bring a new design or to give or produce a lift, design a lift which make new design standards. That was the first goal, and the second goal was to make the technician behind the cover, behind the bring it to the standard, which helps the customers and also the technicians and make this lives for these peoples easier.
Yeah, I would say we bring it to the point and directly jump into the topic. Thanks a lot. So what we're having here is a curved unit of the Ascender platform Stairlift, which is among others one of our core product within the Ascender product portfolio. I think what we can already see from the design, for us it was very important, and please confirm that this was a very important factor for our customers and for our clients, to not have a unit which you have in your household, in your staircase, which is ugly. So this is, I think, and we can see it already from this unit, a very important factor we put in the design. And I think probably you can show us also some coloring which has been included in this new platform lift.
Yes, that's the point, Julian. Most of these IPLs, incline platform lifts, look like a machine. So, and that was the thing that we tried, that this lift looks better and will be a part of your house or your.
I think if you start driving, we can already show
yes,
the coloring.
If you start driving, you see first the color display and also the color LED, which is lighting if the lift is running. To the LEDs we have 3 different colors. The first color is during the drive. It's adjustable, as the color what do you want is adjustable, and then we have two other colors. One color it's red, and that means that something is going wrong. So something happens. Now we have some trouble.
So what, for example, let's show us when the lift now wants to go up and there is a problem with the lift. When there is an obstacle, can you simulate this obstacle?
Of course. Now I have pressed the emergency button, and you can see on the display that now it's shown that the emergency button is pressed. If I release the button, now you can see it's ready to run. And if I drive up and press the ramp, you can see exactly on the display which ramp is detected, what happened. So it's very easy for the customer to know what's the problem, why the lift is not working at the moment.
Thanks, Rainer. What I forgot to mention in the beginning, as I can already see the first questions coming in, so please also to our audience, when there is a question, please post it immediately in the group. We have the first question here. If we change the front buttons, if we change the front side and the push buttons, my colleague Andreas already answered, so yes, I think there was a change. Maybe you can tell us shortly what changed.
You mean this buttons on the cover? So you can drive with the button with the remote control, or you can drive with the buttons on the lift. You see different displays. So if you drive with the buttons on the lift, you see this display, and if I drive with the button on the remote control, it shows the other display.
Yeah. Great. I think one question and one problem which arose from our customers last week, and I've received a call from a customer in Germany who told me he constantly gets reminded by his clients going there for an error, but once there, the customer side, there is no error visible. So how would you solve this problem and this situation for the technicians going to the customer, driving the lift, but actually there is no error visible anymore? What can you do there?
Yeah, that's the worst case of all technicians, that the customer is calling you, inform you that the lift is not working, there are some troubles, and then you are driving on site and see nothing. Huh? It's working, all is fine, and you see no problem. That's the worst case of a technician. And now we solved it in this way, that we have a fault memory on board, and it's very easy to go into the fault memory. It can be also done by the customer. You must only press these two buttons on the remote control for a few seconds, and then you see the fault. And now that was the last fault. You can see the date of the fault, you can see the time of the fault, and you can see the working hours and the text, what was the problem. If I use the buttons behind in the fuse box, that means these two buttons, yes. With these two buttons, I can switch in the memory fault and see all faults, what happened with date, time, and working hours.
And the good thing, right, sorry to interrupt you here, the good thing is definitely that you don't have to remove the front cover.
That's the point, because sometimes it helps if the customer gives you the information what was the problem, and maybe it was this contact and this is blocked, and the customer can
what you're holding in your hand, before I forget to mention, I think there was also a little change done with the remote control. Is that correct? Can you maybe show to our customers this new remote control which you're holding in your hand?
We have also designed a new remote control with a standard brand, a standard logo, and yeah, I think it looks very nice.
It looks very nice, Rainer. And I think we move on to the next. I have put down a few questions which have received us throughout the last weeks. And one question was definitely, when there's a problem and you want to open and remove the cover, it often takes a lot of time. So maybe you can show us just quickly how you do it when you want to remove the front cover.
Yeah, and first I will drive down because I will also show you the different lights. I show you that one light is adjustable, it's doing the drive. One light is if there is some problem, and the second light is the green ones. It shows you that the lift is now ready and the customer can leave the platform. So if everything is fine, it's green, now customer can leave platform.
Because, sorry, I will constantly interrupt you because one question I received yesterday, the lift is not parked in the right position. How does the customer know if it's parked or not in the right position? So one thing is this light, right? This green light, but I think there is also a voice, a signal and an acoustical output if it's not in the right position, right?
Yeah, it's correct. A big problem is if the customer leaves the platform or the lift not in a parking position and the lift will be not charged. That's a big problem because if the lift is not charged for a few days, for a few weeks, the batteries are going empty and after the time they are broken.
Yeah.
And we solve it in this way. It's also in the current product. If the lift is not parked in a parking position, it's not charged. After a few minutes, you see on the display that the lift is not in a parking position. Then you see it on the display. After a few minutes later, there comes an acoustical signal and tells you that the lift is not charged and is not in a parking position. And after 1 hour later, the lift will be switched off.
Okay, so in order to avoid the discharging of the batteries, it will automatically turn itself off.
That saves the batteries. And if the lift is automatically switched off, you save the batteries. So if you come back, you must only go back to the fuse box.
Okay, yes.
Press this button and then it's ready. So you can drive. If there is no if there's no save and the battery is going empty, it's a problem because you cannot drive.
Mm-hmm. And I think now I don't want to wait and keep our audience waiting for too long, but I think we should already now see in a couple of seconds what is going to happen when the lift is not parked in the right position. So before we go there, maybe we can do one more thing. We will look at it in a second. The handlebars, which are now in the horizontal position. Okay, sorry, I will jump now directly into this problem. We can see here a red light appearing plus something on this LED screen, which is telling us exactly that the lift is not parked in the right position. So this is a common error. Andreas already wrote it in the commentary section, that this is one of the most common errors, because the customer thinks, okay, doesn't matter where I park it, the batteries are discharged. So this is included now in this new platform lift to inform the customer.
That's the point, to inform the customer that the customer knows what happens, what is to do.
Yeah. Okay, Rainer, I will suggest, I will do a little thing now. Please don't hit me. I'm trying and simulating a situation which often happens, that a fuse is defected. So if there's a
I don't think that often happens.
I've been told at least once a year that this is a problem. No, it basically just shows you and to our audience the possibility, if there's any error, no matter what error, you will immediately see on the screen that there is a problem. I've now removed the fuse, so this is then showing us on the screen that there is a problem with the fuse.
There are a lot of things what can be happen, and the display shows you in a graphic way what happens and what's the problem. And if the problem is away, you see there's Tender logo or some other logo, and that's it.
There is a question coming to us from Isa. If it's possible to lift the platform up with your hands if the battery is empty, can you show it? So in case the battery is completely empty, what would you do and suggest how can you still operate and put it down the lift to exchange the batteries?
Yeah, I think the situation that the batteries are completely empty and you cannot drive, that's not possible.
Okay.
The thing
why is that so? Because apparently there is a problem with one. So
yeah,
how can you?
If the lift, example, the lift is in the lower parking position, and the battery is going empty. But why the batteries should going empty? If the batteries are charged, it's okay. If the batteries are not charged, the lift will be switched off.
Yeah.
So
basically
no
the problem
power.
our colleague is referring to is here an old problem or a problem with the other lifts, not from a standard, because our lift would automatically and immediately within a couple of minutes first inform the customer, and second he would then after 1-2 hours switch off itself automatically.
Yeah. And if the batteries and if the lift is in a position, and I don't know why, but there is no power, for the customer it's not able to drive up so they can leave the platform all the time.
Yeah. And there is the emergency lowering, like with all platform lifts, which is a standard, because I'm just mentioning it here. There was a question, how can you solve a situation when the customer is stuck? So basically there is a little button here. We're not going to show it now due to time reasons, but basically the emergency lowering would give the customer the possibility to operate the lift even when there's an error.
That's also a point. The controller needs about 20 voltage for operating, and with the emergency lowering we can drive with 12 voltage are enough to make the emergency lowering. So
there is a question coming in from Rafael. What is the number on the bottom of the display? So basically the display here can be adjusted individually.
This number?
Yes.
This should be the telephone number from the technician
exactly.
Or from the dealer. Yeah.
So to answer your question, Rafael, yes, this can be the number of your dealer. As soon as there's an error, you can then immediately call the right technician. Next question coming in from Stig. What if the lift has a faulty switch? How do you lower it? So basically, if I understand, please correct me if I'm wrong, if there is any fault, not being the emergency button, but if any other fault with the lift, you can still lower it with the emergency button. Yeah. Is that correct?
That's completely correct. For emergency lowering, you can have any fault, only the emergency button must be free.
Yeah. So basically the only situation when the lift is not moving would be with the emergency button pressed.
I can show you. Julian, if you can press the button.
Yes.
So now, if I open the arms by hand, if you don't press it, 1 second, it's not allowed to drive. I cannot drive. If you press the button, you see it on the display, emergency travel, and then you can also drive in a reduced speed with the emergency button.
Keeping the emergency button pressed.
Yeah. Both buttons must be pressed. The emergency button and the
okay.
button for travel.
Before I've been talking a little bit about the cover, and that a customer had a problem with another lift, that it was very difficult to remove it. So maybe we can go into this now to show them how you can remove it and to look a little bit at the heart of this platform.
Yes, for remove the cover you need these two Allen keys. It's 2.5 and number 5. And you must give away first the handrail. Second.
Okay, that was quick.
Now we have 2 other screws. Then not so fast. So
Raphael is posing another question. Rainer, you can continue working. If the emergency button works with OSG, so please help me out. Do you know the OSG? Otherwise, I would still ask Raphael please to specify the OSG is activated. If you mean with OSG the emergency button, so as soon as the emergency button is pressed, the red one, the lift is not working. The emergency button first has to be released, and then you can operate it.
So if the emergency button is pressed, you can. It's not allowed to drive with the emergency button. Yes. The emergency button must be free.
Francesco, Francesco is asking us about this one-click opening closing. I have it on my list because that is also a quite common question we receive from our customers. If it's possible with one click to simply open the safety bars and to close the platform. I think you want to show it now? Or you
Yeah, we can do it now.
We can do it now. Okay.
But first I will show you there are two options. As you know,
I close the safety bar.
the standard is if you drive down
The lift starts.
and you receive the parking position
I open the
and you
safety bar.
stop with pressing the button, the arms stops immediately. So you must press all the time the button that the arms going close. Now you can see we have some other troubles. There's no charging at the moment. I don't know why,
Attention, I close the safety bar.
but I think we will solve it. So I will adjust.
That's a common thing when you have something live, that not everything is working 100% as it should be. But I think we have luckily a touch display, which Rainer is showing us here, so you can see many adjustment possibilities.
Now, that's the option. So safety bars always open at station. Yes. Okay. I save it. Go back. And now I can show you.
Attention, I close the safety bar. The lift starts.
If now the customer
The lift
drives
starts.
into the station, and if we let the station leaves, the arms open automatically. So the customer has not to press the button all the time.
That's a nice thing. I imagine just a situation when you're coming home and you're hurrying into the kitchen to get dinner ready for the kids, then this would be a nice thing to have.
And the next option is, I think it's especially for private people which use this lift 3 times, 10 times a day, and they will not wait all the time to open and close the platform, because the standard is open the platform, press the button all the time. If you leave the button, platform stop. If you open the platform, press the button all the time. If you leave the button, it stops. And I think for private persons that's...
Can you, because you have just been trying to close the platform, can you do that once more please to close the platform? Because I have one question here. When you close it please. What we see here, the handlebars and the safety bars, they're going down, right? So then this is, I think, one important thing to mention here, that they're not upwards lifted, which is often a cause for vandalism.
That's absolutely correct, and that's standard for a standard. Yeah? If the platform is closed, that's very important for public situations, that the safety bars are always inside the platform. But in this case, one other thing, I think all our users know how fast the arms are working from other IPLs. I think if you will close the platform, the arms 180 degrees, I think you need 5 or 6 seconds. You can see how fast these arms are working.
Okay, then let's go for this adjustment. We still have to give the information how we can change the automatic closing of the platform in the system.
Yeah, for this I must go in the menu, and to go in the menu you must press up and down together for a few seconds, and then you've been in the menu. Then you see the main display with a lot of informations like temperature. Now charging, now we see that the batteries are now charged. They have 28.6 voltage, we have temperature 27 degrees. So there are a lot of informations you can see directly on the display. If you go into the menu and settings, I think that's here in others. Now I must go in the, here you can see the difficult code which we use.
Okay, I think we have to change it immediately after the video to maybe 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay,
so
very good.
Now you can see that's the point, automatically open. At the moment it's no, we will change it yes. Save it. Next step. Okay, that's not what I will do. Automatic closing, yes. Save it. Go back. I will go outside of the menu. And now I can show you. Now if you press the button for close platform for
Attention, I'm
2-3
starting to close the
seconds,
platform.
you can leave the button and the platform will close automatically. And you can also see how smooth the platform is working, how smooth the arms are open and close.
Yeah.
It reduces the speed and then it...
And I think one information I would like to mention here.
And now you can see red, green display, now all is ready.
Very good. Rainer, one thing, sorry to interrupt you at this stage, the width of the platform when in parking position.
Yeah.
I think this is also something critical, especially looking at a sales perspective. When you go to the customer and say, look, okay, this is a nice unit, okay, that's one thing. But second, you do not use a lot of space. So please, what is the width with wall mounted? Let's put it wall mounted installation. How wide is the platform?
So we speak wall mounted. We need enclosed with closed platform 32 millimeters for the curved unit and 26 millimeters for the straight ones.
Okay. One thing probably we can discuss just shortly about the cover, because Ricky was asking us if it's standard in metal. What is the standard material for our covers and for our platform lift?
The standard cover is a plastic cover, and the platform is aluminium. Also, this cover is standard in plastic, like car covers, and the platform is standard aluminium and powder coated.
Okay, and the rails themselves and the extensions?
Rails are always standard stainless steel, so that's no option, that's standard stainless steel, and the upper rail is for straight and curved unit always clean, so there's no wreck, no other things. You can use it, you have clean hands. Stanchions, we have two options. We have it in steel powder coated or in stainless steel like this one.
Okay. Another question is reaching us from Deshan. He was asking if it's possible to record your own voice announcement. So basically, to answer it, I've done it myself, so yes, it's possible.
Yeah.
Maybe you can show which SD card has to be changed, but very short answer, yes, you can record your own language. At the moment, we have, for example, German, English, and French. Also for the languages in the menu which are available at the moment, that's the same, German, English, French, working on Spanish. So for all the international audience, basically all languages are possible to be programmed. The voice output can be done individually by each person.
I show you now, I will open and show you that now also open works automatically. So you have pressed a few seconds as the platform opens automatically.
Okay, that's nice.
And now you can see here is the SD memory card, and on this SD memory card all acoustical files. So you can change it, store it on the card, give it on into the PCB board, and then you have your own acoustical voice.
Okay, that's great. And I think I've seen it with one client who asked me, is it possible to put your own logo there? Because now we see the Ascender logo. Is it possible to put the own logo of the dealer as well?
Of course, it's the same situation. If we know this dealer and we have his logo, we will store it during the production. So if the customer, the dealer, receive the unit, his logo will be on the display. But it's also possible that he can change it. It's the same way. Store your own logo on the SD card and it will be shown on the display.
Yeah. Rainer, I'm very happy because many questions reach us at the moment from the audience. There is one question coming again from Raphael that we do not have a PLC inside of the platform at the moment, and asking if this is one of the main differences from the old unit and the new unit, that now we have a microcontroller, not PLC at the moment.
Yes, the current unit has a PLC and the main board, and now we have also the PLC controller, and the main board is only one electronic card.
Okay, so I hope Raphael, that's answering your question. If not, please let us know. I think Andreas already answered as well. Ricky is asking the remote you're using. At the moment, you're showing all the time the handheld remote control. Do we still have the wall mounted? And I could see it lying down there. Maybe you can just shortly show it to the audience. So yes, Ricky, we of course still have the wall mounted control unit.
Yeah, that's a good situation to show you other thing now, because you can see it's not working at the moment because it's not teached in. But it's very easy to teach in. To teach in new remote controls or wall-mounted operating units, it's not necessary to open the cover. So you go back again to these two buttons.
Okay. So basically also something, do you need to remove the cover for this? Or
No,
not necessary?
So if a customer needs additional remote control, you can teach it in by yourself. So you must press these buttons for a few seconds.
Okay, I can already hear something, yes.
Yes. You can also see on the display. Now the controller is ready to teach in. Then you have to press these two buttons on the remote control for a few seconds. And then you can see on the display, yes, now it works, it's ready, it's teached in. You can wait a few seconds and then the display goes back to the standard menu. If you have not the time, you can also press this button. And then you can see,
Attention.
now
I
it's
close
working.
the safety bar. The lift
That's nice.
starts. The lift starts.
Other thing, I think we have time if you are now on the remote control. Other big point is batteries.
Yes.
I think you know it.
Thanks for mentioning. To be honest, just yesterday, a client in Germany called me, telling me that he was trying to operate the lift, but nothing was going on. So what happened? The technician had to go there. It's difficult at the moment anyhow to go out, but he had to go there because it wasn't working. Eventually, it turned out it was only the battery which was the problem. So no problem with the lift itself, but another service technician had to go there. Time, money, and the time could be used for some better things.
That's the point. Because if the batteries are empty in the remote control, most situation it doesn't work, and the customer knows. Call the technician, please come to me. The remote controls are not working now. But the problem is only there are low batteries, yeah. And now we have a new wireless system, and this system speaks in both directions. So the controller speaks to the receiver and the receiver speaks back. And if the battery is going empty here, you can see it on the display that the batteries are going empty. So the customer knows, yes, if I use these remote controls, there are bad batteries, and maybe next time if the technician is here, or it's not so difficult, they can change those by yourself. It's standard batteries, EEE standard batteries are inside,
Okay.
so it's no problem.
And I think what can also be mentioned here is Esa was just saying he needs 5 remote controls. We have been discussing this situation before. We know that up to 20 remote controls is not a problem.
No.
If more than 20, please let us know whether we have to double check, but basically we can say there is no limitation in the amount of remote controls.
In this situation, I can show you other thing.
Okay, what are you showing us now?
Now you can see. Now we have adjusted that the platform is operating automatically. As you see, open and close automatically.
Okay.
And this can be adjusted for each station and each remote control extra.
Okay.
So I see here, this is the remote control. I know that's this remote control, because if I press the button, I will have, with this remote control, it should open automatically only in station 1, not in station 2. Now, I take the other ones. I see now it's this remote control. With this remote control, I will open it automatically only in station 2. In station 2, sorry. And I see the next one. Okay, that's this remote control. With this remote control, I will open and close it in both. And I don't know this with this remote control.
Basically, every adjustment can be done can be preset.
I
think
save it, yeah.
I wanna mention this. Those adjustments can be preset in our factory before leaving if we have this information. But this is very important to mention. Every technician can very easily. There is a manual for all of those operations. Can do it himself when he is at the customer.
Yes, that's very important. So we will adjust all things what are necessary for this unit. So the technician on site must be adjust normally nothing.
Yeah.
But he has the possibility to do it.
That's a good thing. Yeah. And one question, and I think this is already a very good question. When will this unit be available on the market? As I said in the beginning, the first units will leave our production in 1 week's time. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, we have some units are running since few months because we are tested.
Yes.
But
the official run out for this unit will be beginning of April. So basically now we already have all the new units in our production. So it's ready. Let's say that in that way, the unit is ready when there is an order placed. Now it's already the new unit.
Regarding remote controls and batteries, I have one other thing. It's also important, also very good information for your technician. If you go in the menu and you see information, in the information you see a lot of details because the standard is that the controller shows you all in and outputs, which inputs are activated, which outputs are activated, but which technician knows input 2 is the up button? Input,
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
I know it. So we have all, if you see remote control up, if I press remote control up, you can see it's activated. Remote control down, if I activate it, you see it's activated.
Okay. That's a good thing, yeah.
You see all things what's happened, yeah. You see limit switch button station, it's activated at the moment, okay. Limit switch top station, it's not activated because it's not in this station at the moment, yeah. And if I go, sorry, Julian, 1 second, I need a little bit more time.
Take your time.
So
our
now,
audience, I hope it's still interesting for you. If there are more questions, please
now
ask them.
you can see the call station, okay.
Attention.
That's this call station, and I see the batteries from the call station now have 100%. Okay. I use the other ones. That's other remote control. I press the button. Now it's changed, and I see this battery is a little bit low. It has only 99%.
Okay.
And then I have a third one here. I use this one. Press one time the button, and I see also it's 99%. So you can check. During the maintenance, how are the batteries in the remote controls?
Yeah. Ricky was asking a question, Rainer, concerning the amount of landings. If you have several landings, also when it's then about opening automatically, closing automatically, what do you do if you not just only have top and bottom landing parking position, but maybe 3 landings in between? First of all, how many landings are we able to make? And second, what if there are several ones? How does the platform know when it should close automatically and when it should not close automatically?
Yeah, so how many landings? You have always down landing, up landing, and then you can have, I think, 10 landings between.
Okay, so basically no limitation there.
And it's not only the point with which in which landing and with which operating unit you can open and close automatically. You can also adjust if it's allowed in this position to open or close the platform. Maybe you have a parking position. This position allows only to stop in closed position, and then in this landing it's not allowed to open and close. That's because also all these things are adjustable.
Okay, so in case there are more landings and there should be in the middle landing, let's say we have a 2-story building and in the middle landing you want
I show you. I think the best thing is to show.
Yes, please.
Settings, generally. Now you can see you can adjust all languages. Yeah? Date, time. That's maintenance. I think we come later to this. Which with which type? It means that this controller is used also for the straight one, curved one, and also for the vertical ones.
Yep.
Yeah? And then which hand side with installation, so it's very easy to change the installation side for the software, and then you can adjust how many stations. In this case we have 2 stations. or we have 10 stations. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the maximum.
Okay.
But I think 10 stations.
So I hope to Ricky, I hope this is answering your question concerning this. Auto unfolding, of course, is also possible in the landings in between.
Yeah.
As there are now currently just 2 landings in the system, that's
No.
why it only shows us 2 landings.
So, yeah,
But,
I can show you.
Yes.
Now we have 4 landings. Okay.
Yeah, I can see many adjustments. Many adjustments are possible there.
My fingers are too big.
Yeah, that's the thing with quarantine. If you have to stay home too much, not moving from the couch, that's what's going to happen.
But now you can see that's the how many operating units, 20, 10, and then how many stations.
Okay, great. That's nice to see. I was just having a short glimpse before. There was something like with the routine maintenance, because I think that's a very interesting tool. You should just go into a little bit more in detail. When there is once a year, let's say a customer should call the technician, but he doesn't know, or the customer doesn't know when I should call him, and the technician himself maybe has so many projects, he would probably not think about doing the next routine maintenance. Yeah. So is there a tool how you could include this in the system?
Of course, it is. We have on board standard, no extra payment. So generally settings, we can say maintenance. Yeah, maintenance. This is the button. When I see in these buttons, the last maintenance was done by 30 of March 2020, and if I say now I have done the maintenance now, it will be change the date. Yeah, and if you go to other menu, now I will change it back to 2. My fingers are too big.
You need a pen?
Yes, I think it's better.
Okay, so basically this touch display best used with a special pen for it.
Here you can see service interval. If you can adjust it for 1 year, 2 years, whatever you want, and then after 1 year the customer see on the display, please make maintenance. It has nothing to do that the lift will be not work. It works, but the customers will be informed that they have to do a maintenance.
But it has 2 big advantages. The first advantage for the customer to avoid in time that there could be a problem, and the good thing also for the technician and for our dealers that they get informed by the customer, please come. Yeah. So it's a nice tool which is included in the lift.
And the other thing is, if we will make the maintenance not each year or depends on the time, you can have also the maintenance depends on the working hours.
Yeah.
So I will adjust. Yeah. Every after 50 working hours, I will make a maintenance. You can adjust it, and the customer will see it.
Yeah. One question which I received 2 weeks ago, and that was a special situation at a client when he didn't want that the top handlebar is opening at a 100%. He didn't want the top bar to open, he just wanted it, let's say, 50% because there was a ceiling and there was not enough space for the top bar. So the customer had the problem that constantly there was an error, constantly basically the lift was not really working properly. So what would you do in such a situation?
I know these problems, and I know that in the past there was a lot of work to adjust it, that the arms is not open complete. So you can adjust it if you want. You have the menu safety bars, okay? And then you see upstairs safety bar. At the moment it's have 179. If I change it to 99, save it.
Okay, so that can also be done by the technician at the site, yes.
So I will close the bars,
The safety bar.
and now I will open. It stops in this position.
That's exactly the situation, because the ceiling was this landing more or less.
Yeah.
So basically this is helping a lot.
And I can adjust it also for
both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Another question which Stig was asking me just now, what are the recommended service intervals? I would say with a standard platform lift you don't need any because there will never be an error. No, but leaving that aside, what would you recommend, Rainer, as a standard service interval? How do you do it in Austria with our customers? How many service intervals do you have?
Attention, I open the safety bar.
I think if you make maintenance one time a year, it's definitely enough. If the unit is not used so often, it's also okay. 2 years or 3 years. I think it's for the dealers. It's money to make service, but for the technician behind, it's not necessary.
Yeah. Okay, Rainer. I've tried to cover all the questions, the main questions, which have come across our desk throughout the couple of days. I really want to give now a great thanks to all the questions which came to us. Basically, there will be such live videos we'll have now on a weekly basis. So the next video will be next Wednesday with the topic tutorials and tools to assist installation of a platform lift, which means that we'll have our chief installing guy doing all the installations, and he can give you advice with little tools, how to make it faster, how to make it easier, little trolleys which help you during the installation. So please follow us, follow this channel, recommend it to your technicians. There will be more interesting videos posted. Also, this video will be posted after the live session, which means you can also afterwards share it, and also other people can watch it. So I'm still waiting if there are more questions to come. I can't see any at the moment. So in case there are no more questions, I'm not sure. Rainer, maybe you want to give us one full ride up and down to show our audience how smoothly it is going around the curve.
Attention, I close the safety bar. The lift starts.
That's also about the speed from the driving and also from the bars. It's adjustable. So if the customer is open and close the bar a little bit too fast, you can reduce the speed very easily. And that's the same for drive. If the customer will have a slowly drive during the curve, it is possible.
I open the safety bar.
Okay.
Attention, I close the safety bar. The lift starts.
What is the maximum travel length you can go with this platform lift?
Yeah, in the past we have done some units with 40-50 meters travel length,
Okay.
and that's no problem.
Because with the batteries, you were mentioning the batteries before. At the moment, we see 4 batteries installed. Is there a possibility to have more batteries in the lift?
Attention,
Yeah, I think
the safety
that's not, depends not from the travel length, depends how often you use the unit.
Okay.
So if you have a unit with 20 meters rail and you will use it maybe 5 times in one area.
Without charging?
Yeah.
Because I think then you can add more batteries,
Yeah.
right? You can add another 4.
4 standard, additional 8
Yeah.
possible.
Nick, our partner from the UK, is asking us once again for the certain amount of hours after which display informs the user that a service is due. Basically, yes, we have just shown it before. You can adjust up to 1 hour and even less. So you can say it should be after 1 year, it should be after 5 hours, it should be after 1 month. So all of this, just to show it once again for you, can be done automatically.
1 second. In the information menu, if you go a little bit down,
Okay.
you can see 1 second. Yeah, you can see how often the power was switched off. You can see how the operating time, and you can try how often the unit was drived. So you can see it. And for maintenance, you go back, settings, generally. You can adjust years. If you adjust 0, that means the information comes never.
Okay.
Okay? And now, if you have hours, you can adjust 1000 or 0, and if 0, it comes, it's the same.
Okay, that's really great, a great tool. Yeah, Rafael, just shortly, I will answer your question. 33 meters is not a problem at all, of course, of travel length. And also, when we look at the angle, the maximum angle we can travel with PLK 8 or older with a PLG 7, please correct me if I'm wrong, I think we talk of 50 degrees.
More than 50 degrees.
Even more, okay. Which you can go upwards. So even it's a 5-6 story building, Everything up to 50 meters in travel length has already been done by us and is not a problem. Okay, so if there is no more question from your side, once again the invitation, please stay in the group, invite other people, join and also visit the next live tutorial, which is going to be held next week on Wednesday. Until then, I wish you, your families and everyone all the best. Stay healthy, stay home, keep the 1 meter safety distance as we try to keep today. And thanks everyone for watching. Stay tuned. If there are more questions, please write us a message. The official email address of Ascender would be office@ascender.at, where all the questions will be answered immediately. Take care. Thanks, Rainer, for being with us.
Thanks. It was a pleasure, Julian.
And we'll see you again next week.